In this video we'll discuss the glossary feature, which is available in both the XBasic editor and also the JavaScript editor. So the glossary feature is a great productivity boost for developers who are writing code. So for example, here I am in the JavaScript editor inside the UX Builder, and when I'm editing JavaScript code I often find myself typing curly bracket dialog.object. So I go here and type dialog.object, and even though there's autocomplete to help me type it, it's still cumbersome to have to basically type a couple of characters and then select from the autocomplete. So I can go now and define a glossary entry. So for example, I'm going to go here and just type do dot, and you can see now that that expands all the way out to dialog.object, and that's a lot easier than typing curly bracket dialog and then selecting from autocomplete after you've typed a sufficient number of characters. So another thing that I find myself doing often in the JavaScript editor in the UX is writing code that does dialog.object.getControl to get a pointer to a control like a list or something like that. So I'm going to go here now and type var l obj equals, and then I'm going to type my shortcut, which is, in this case, I've just defined my shortcut as .gc, and you can see now it expands automatically and puts the insertion point exactly where I want it. Also, for example, I could go here and type sv, which is my shortcut for set value, and the abbreviations can expand to much longer phrases. So for example, if I go here and type .loop, you can see that expands to a full definition of a JavaScript loop. Now, in some cases you might want to prevent the expansion from taking place if it's not typed at the beginning of a line, or if it's not typed at a word boundary. So for example, you can see here right now, if I type this is say this is a loop, basically it still continues to expand the text there because I haven't defined a rule that controls when the text is actually expanded. So let's go now and define a rule for this abbreviation so that it only expands if it's at the beginning of a line. So I'm going to go there, right click and say edit glossary, and then go over to this definition over here and check the box here that says only expand if it's at the start of a line. So let's go now and type loop, and it expands over there. But now I'm going to go here and type this is a loop, and you can see that it doesn't expand because the rule says only expand if it's at the beginning of the line. So let's go back now and take a look at some of the other rules that are available. So right now this rule is beginning of the line. Let's go here, for example, and choose this rule that says only expand if the abbreviation is on a word boundary. So if I type do after the words ABC do dot, then it will not expand because that's not on a word boundary. But if I typed AB space do dot, that would expand. I can also specify that the abbreviation should be shown in the autocomplete logic. So if I go here, for example, let's go to this loop definition over here and specify show abbreviation in autocomplete, and this is the description that I'd like to see in the autocomplete logic. So now when I go here and I type .loop, you can see that it shows up in the autocomplete logic, so I get to see what my abbreviations are, and I can basically make my selection by either completing the characters in the abbreviation or by making a selection from the autocomplete logic. So the glossary is available in both JavaScript editors, so in all JavaScript editors throughout Alpha Anywhere, and also in XBasic editors. So if I go now to XBasic, you can see here we basically have a glossary, but the terms available now in this glossary are different because I'm no longer in a JavaScript context, I'm in an XBasic context. So for example, when writing XBasic code, I often need to basically get a connection to a SQL database. So I've got a shortcut here called .cn, which automatically writes out for me dim cn as SQL : connection, and then cn.open. So the glossary feature is available now on the right click menu in XBasic and JavaScript editors, and it can provide a really great productivity boost for developers who are writing code. Thanks very much for watching.